Hi there, it's Pranav from DPS Diary. Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on your location. How are you doing today? Thank you for tuning in. And today we are going to cover Replication Server interview questions and answers. In the previous video, we covered only questions. Okay, and thank you for your feedback for covering replication questions. So in this video, we are going to cover questions along with the answers. So before starting that, I would like to thank you for subscribing to my channel and passing your comment in terms of feedback. So if you like my channel, please subscribe and like my videos. And if you want me to cover something else, please pass your comments. Okay. So thank you very much. Let's start. So Sybase Replication Server interview questions and answers. So the first question is, what is the difference between warm standby and MSA? Okay. So warm standby is actually used for DR server, whereas MSA is used for multiple servers. Okay, it is called multi-site availability. So in terms of warm standby, you will have one publisher and one subscriber. Whereas in case of MSA, you will have one publisher, but you can have multiple subscribers. Okay, this is the major difference. Now, second thing is, when you have warm standby, then you can make like secondary as a primary. There is a command, and you can do the switch over between primary and secondary. That is called failover. Okay, but MSA, that is not applicable. So you will have, because you will have multiple subscribers, you have only one publisher, so that is something different. And also, when we create the thing, like we will not have distributor in the case of like warm standby, but in MSA you will have the concept of distributor. And when you create the definition, so you will have subscription, then you will have definition in the MSA. But in warm standby, it is based on the connection and other thing that I have covered in my one of the video. So you can go through that and that will help. So warm standby, it is mainly used for DR. MSA is multi-site availability, so that is used for multiple multiple replication. Okay, so this is the core difference between these two. Let's move to the next question now. So what is DSI thread? Okay, DSI is nothing but data server interface. So as the name suggests, you can make out, basically it is an interface between primary and secondary. Okay, so it translates that like transaction through RPC, okay, remote procedure call, and it helps in replication between primary and secondary. You cannot change anything in the DSI because it is system defined terms and it is defined in their own assembly language, you may say. So as the name suggests, DSI thread is nothing but it helps in having replication between primary and secondary. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. How do you check whether replication is up or down at SRS, which is Sybase Replication Server? So now checking is actually, it depends on the thread. Now we can have multiple threads for each database. Okay, so you may run the command admin who is down, admin who underscore is underscore down, and that will give you the thread which is suspended. Okay, and you can also run command to see what all things are running, admin who is up, who underscore is underscore up, or you can run command admin who. Okay, so this way you can find out which is the thread which is down. You can also check the replication error log, like what is the actual reason why some thread is down. It will be specifying that. In case you need to know more details about that, you can go to RSSD and then you can run the command rs underscore help exception. Check the last thread number. I mean, before that you need to do sysadmin log first tran and then like data source, data server name and database name. Okay, so it will log the transaction in the RSSD help exception log. From there you can find out more details in terms of transaction. Okay, I don't think this much you need to explain. It just shows like how many exceptions you have covered and what all things have been your expertise or you have worked on it in your environment. Okay, so let's move to the next question now. What is SQM? Okay, now as I mentioned to you, like DSI, so the replication happens in the form of queues. Okay, it goes queue and it is in the order of committed transaction. Okay, so SQM is nothing but stable queue let me just open that. It's stable queue manager. Okay, so each queue is managed by a stable queue manager thread. Okay, so threads are nothing but sub processes. Okay, so queue, then you have SQM. Okay, now you would have checked, like when you have to check the status of queues, you can run the command admin who comma SQM at the replication server level, and you will see like what is the status, how many has been transmitted and all the details. Okay, so this is nothing but it is helping queue on, this is a manager level. Manager level means it manages the transaction movement between primary and secondary, or you can say publisher and subscriber. Okay, so this one. Now the next question will be, what is SQT? So SQT is actually part of SQM. It is at the thread level. Okay, so if you run the command admin who command SQT at the Sybase Replication Server, so you may see that if any command is still open at the primary server level, or it has been closed. Okay, so these all things you can find out at the thread level. So this gives you more visibility, like what is the status of replication. Okay, so SQT is nothing but stable queue transaction thread. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Use of auto correction at replication definition level. This is very much handy when you have an environment where you have issue with the primary key or with the clustered index. Okay, so if you have set the auto correction, then for the update and insert, okay, first it issues the command of delete, and then it performs the update or delete, update or insert statement. So you do not face the issue of duplicate issue. Like if you have this key and you try to insert duplicate, it will fail. The replication thread will go down. If you have this thing enabled, auto correction enabled at your replication definition level, it will take care of that. Okay, so if you can explain your experience with the auto correction in your environment, how did you face it before, then when did you feel the need of enabling this auto correction? So this will be adding more value into your answer to the interviewer, right? Okay, so let's move to the next question now. So how will you print configuration details of connection at replication server? So as I mentioned in the previous video, so this is actually at the data server level and then database level. So you may have multiple database at one data server, and then each of them can have different configuration. So you can print that using admin config connection data server and database name. So if you issue the command admin config, so you can see what is the configuration. Okay, this actually helps when you have MSL setup, and then this like alter thing is not working, or I mean you can pass your example how you have faced in your environment. Okay, let's move to the next question now. The queue is piling up. What would be your approach to check at primary and replication server? So if queue is piling up, which means replication like truncation point is not moving. Okay, so at the primary server level, what you can check is you can check syslogs hold. Okay, and if you see there is an open transaction, that could be one of the reasons that queue is piling up and it's not moving. Okay, this is at the primary server level. At the replication server level, you can check admin who comma SQT, and that will give you an idea like what is happening. Okay, you can also check RS underscore last commit. Even that will help you in finding out the latency between primary and secondary server. Okay, and based on that you can take a call like what needs to be done. If there is open transaction and it is not something which should be kept as open, so you can call the concerned user or application team and they will look after it. Okay, there is another aspect of this which will be at the disk level. So if you have admin disk space, admin who command disk space, okay, and then from the RS underscore segments, if the usage of disk is there which is piling up, which is used, then also you need to check like how many partitions are there, disk partitions, and how much has it been used. Okay, so even from that perspective you can explain the answer. So answer, as I mentioned, it depends on your experience, depends on your environment, how you have covered it, and so it is not something which is very no specific. It could be anything. It could be depending on your experience, but commands will be like similar. It will be same. Okay, so how to check queue usage at replication server? This one I have already explained. Okay, in the previous question how you do that. So you can give the same answer. Okay, let's move to the next question now. How will you stop replication agent at primary server or disable it? So this replication, when you stop it, so this is at the context of database, not at the context of the whole server. Okay, if you have 5 database and you're replicating 4 database out of that, so if you want to stop the replication agent at primary server, okay, so you need to do it database by database level. Okay, so there is a command that you can use database name, you should be in that database, and then sp underscore stop underscore rep underscore agent and then database name. So that will be giving you the like stopping the replication. Okay, now the next question is how to disable replication from primary. So disable, first we saw how to stop it, and the second one we'll see how to disable it. So like disabling is pretty straightforward. You can see use database name and then dbcc set trunk and ltm ignore. Okay, so this one will help you in disabling the replication at primary level. Okay, let's move to the next question now. So how to set replication none for all tables at primary server? Now see, in the previous question we saw how to stop the replication for all tables in one database. Okay, now again next question we saw how to disable the replication. So now this one is saying how to set replication none for all tables at primary server level. So this will actually it will be not transferring data in one database for any tables from primary to secondary. You can use the command sp underscore rep to standby all comma none. Okay, so all tables it will not be replicating. You can also do at the replication definition level. Okay, so even that part you can explain how can you do that, but in this one I would answer like sp underscore rep to standby because I have used it and it has worked perfectly fine, and I didn't have to change the replication definition, but you can go with that approach as well. How to gather system statistics at replication server? So system statistics, when I say, I meant to say sysmon, how to gather the sysmon. So you can run the sysmon at the replication server. So I was talking about this command, rep to standby all none. So you may use admin stats sysmon and display for the period of time. It could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes, could be 3 minutes, depending on your requirement. Okay, so far so good. Let's move to the next question now. How to suspend replication of one table from replication server? Now we have seen the suspension of replication at database level, completely stopping it, completely suspending it, then like stop and disable, and then we also saw how to stop the replication for all tables in one database. Right now the next question is, I need to suspend the replication for only one table. So all other tables will still be replicating except one table. I have some issue with one table, there is some no duplicate data or something has gone wrong, or it has got a trigger which is causing issue, which I am not able to fix, or there is some issue from application side or from vendor side, whatever be the reason, we have to stop the replication of only one table. Okay, so how to do that? So we have a command, we need to alter the connection. Okay, so first we need to suspend the connection, then alter the connection to data server database name, then table name, and we have to stop the update, delete and insert for this table. Okay, and then we can check the config of this, and you will see that, see admin config we have used in the past for showing the configuration detail of the replication database things. So here we are checking the configuration at the replication server level or a table level. Okay, So far so good. So let's move to the next question. So how do you connect to RSSD server from replication server without going to RSSD server? So suppose I have to run a command for at RSSD server and I am connected to the replication server right now. So how can I run the command from there? From there itself. Okay. So you can just issue the command connect. The moment you use command connect and then press enter go. So it will write that connection gateway to RSSD is created. So which means now you are not in replication server but you are at the RSSD server from replication server. So now you can run the command. And then once you issue the command disconnect, so it will say that gateway to RSSD is dropped. So now you are back to replication server. Okay. So 15 question has been done. Now let's move to the next question. So how to troubleshoot latency between primary and secondary? So this actually I have already covered. Okay, like when the queue is piling up. So in that way, like suppose you have a data which is not replicating to secondary and which has been committed in the recent past and it is still not moving. So then you can use rs underscore last commit and then it will give you the commit time at the primary and then you can find out the actual issue. Okay, rs underscore last commit. Okay, now let's go to the next question. So I hope questions are good and you have been able to follow up. You have been able to follow the question, follow along, I meant not to follow up. Okay, so is there any need of using same password at primary and secondary for replication maint user? Actually, we as a practice in the replication, we use maint user for configuring replication. Okay, and if you have done so, for each database we create one maint user. Okay, and we specify the password. So that password needs to be kept same at primary and replication level and at the secondary level. If you keep the different password, this will not work. Okay, so we need to explain them that since this is used all across, so password should remain exactly, should not be different. If it is different, the replication will fail. Okay, so this will actually check or examine that whether you have done the replication configuration from your end or no. Okay, how to fix data inconsistency between primary and secondary. Okay, so that means you need to re-replicate the data. Okay, so you need to qsec the queue first. Okay, and then you need to put the like replication into hibernate mode. Then you have to enable the marker, take the downtime. It depends on your environment. In my environment I don't take downtime because dump is not that heavy process. We have been taking enough number of stripe and we also have compress command, okay, level 5, so that doesn't really cause much issue. But if you have some no critical process running at that point of time and if you take the backup, it might cause some issue in your performance and in your reports or in your that critical process. So it's up to you. You can say that system will be responding slow in this time, so take the downtime or that maintenance time, take the backup. Okay, load it at the secondary server and restart the replication or resume the replication, resume connection. So this will solve the data inconsistency issue between primary and secondary. Now it depends how big is your database, how much time does it take for you to take backup, and then how long does it take for you to transfer the backup from primary to secondary. If it is DR site and it's not in the same city, then that is another story. You need to take care of those things also. You have to plan it well. Okay, so it's not something you can do it immediately. You have to plan it. Okay, so the last question, the bonus question, how to display memory statistics of replication server. This comes handy when you are fighting with your sysadmin of server admin. Okay, because I had a case wherein I have HP server. Okay, and then it was having some memory leakage. So we were fighting that no, this is not issue from the server side, this is issue from the replication server. This is consuming too much memory. Okay, so then we had to gather the memory statistics from the replication server, and then I had to show it to my sysadmin, server admin, that see, from my side, from the replication side, I am not using too much of memory, I am using only this much. Okay, so afterwards only it became to know that this is not issue from either side. This is the memory leakage from the like there is some non-issue which is in the HP side. Okay, I won't get into much into that, but this is a command. It will be handy for you. You can use admin stats mem underscore detail underscore stats. This is very handy. You can run once in few minutes depending when you need that, and then this will gather all the statistics and will display you. Okay, so that is all. I hope these questions were good and it will help you in cracking the interview. Okay, so do let me know your feedback, and thanks a lot for tuning and passing your feedback in terms of comment. And please subscribe to my channel if you like them, and please also press the bell icon if you want to be notified when I publish the next video. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.